May is an interesting month weather-wise as summer tries to kickstart amid typical spring conditions. This can often lead to up and down temperatures throughout the month. This year appears to be no exception. So, looking at temperatures, May is going to begin with zonal flow in place, meaning the jet stream lays relatively flat across the United States. This will generally keep colder air locked to the north of the region. With that said, typical spring features will generally keep more mild temperatures out of the picture, at least for eastern New England during this first week of the month. Again, for the most part, these features are, of course, frontal systems keeping clouds around, an onshore flow, and backdoor cold fronts. Western New England will generally have a more mild start to the month. Heading into week 2 of the month, the first full week of May, a trough will likely begin to dig into the west with a ridge building in the east. This will support a general warm up beyond this weekend for New England. At this point, the position of the ridge doesn't favor a significant warm up, and typical spring factors will need to be watched for eastern New England. This warm up for the start of next week may not last too long as the western trough will likely push eastward. This will reintroduce clouds and showers back into the forecast with a potential cool down. At this point, a cool down doesn't look significant. It may be a return to near average temperatures for early May after a brief stint above average, that above average again being early next week. While New England may end up on the warm side of the trough axis, the warmest temperatures relative to average are more favored for the East Coast south of New England, as seen in the Climate Prediction Center's 8 to 14-day outlook, which currently covers May 8th to the 14th as of recording. Heading toward the middle of the month, signals point toward generally zonal flow continuing. This would support a more progressive pattern with troughs and ridges moving through relatively quickly. This may lead to up and down temperatures similar to what's being seen here at the start of the month. This is supported by the fact that the Climate Prediction Center mentions anomalous troughs over the eastern United States in their week 3 to 4 discussion. A generally zonal flow can be seen by looking at both the NAO index and PNA index. A positive or negative NAO favors ridging or troughing in the east, while the PNA does the same for the west. Both the NAO and PNA are looking to remain near neutral or around the same level. This supports zonal flow, meaning that there likely won't be large ridges and troughs in the jet stream. On top of that, Arctic oscillation is also expected to remain around neutral after starting the month tilted negative. We'll need to watch these trends to see if this holds heading toward the end of the month. If a blocking pattern can get set up at some point later in the month, cooler temperatures could filter into the eastern United States. The charts being shown only show the forecast through the middle of the month. As one would expect, looking weeks in advance, there are mixed signals over whether or not a block will set up heading toward the second half of the month. Overall, we're predicting an up and down month temperature wise, which should be expected in a transitional month as it is. Whether New England ends up skewed toward warmer than average or cooler than average is tough to say and will likely vary across New England, with western areas skewing warmer than eastern areas, as per usual for the springtime. So, looking at precipitation, New England will be generally active and unsettled to start the month, which is expected for early May, with frontal boundaries bringing a lot of clouds and showers to the region. The rainiest time of the near term forecast is looking to be Saturday night into Sunday. That's May 4th to the 5th. With zonal flow in place, these systems will likely skew toward being weaker and less impactful with less rainfall. This occurs as storm systems are more quickly pushed across the U.S. in this setup, which doesn't give them time to strengthen. So systems will continue to move through New England, but they should be remaining low impact events as we've seen more recently after the winter ended with a handful of high impact storms. With an overall active pattern, precipitation will have a better chance to skew slightly above average. Overall, we're thinking it'll be near average month precipitation wise.